Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of the Couch GMs Podcast. It is Thursday, June 4th, 2026. I'm your host, George Kurt, joined by the one and only Cody Roadcap. And despite what Cody wants to say on the screen, we are live.
Oh, wow. I knew that was too good to be. We are not previously recorded. We are live. There we go. If you were watching on YouTube, good time to head over if you want to see these airs happen live, or Facebook and Twitch. But it also did a flash frame from orange to blue because I was a little late on the click for that too. So good times. Great start. Good thing it's the off season.
Yes, it is, but I said we're live. You can join us live Thursdays at 6:30 East on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch to join in on the show, ask us questions, join in on the discussion. We'd love to have any kind of discussion with you guys as we do. You can always DM us with anything you got as well, and we will either bring it up on the show. We're always willing to talk to you outside the show as well. And you can follow us at the Couch GMs on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok to do that. We have a lot to talk about, which we haven't had a lot lately. Cody, why don't we jump in and see what's happening? So you and I teased the end of last episode about the whole, will A.J. Brown still be an Eagle? And we thought that was going to be the big news coming out on June 1st. And then Myles Garrett got traded to the LA Rams for Jared Verse, a first, a second in 28, and a third in 29. The bombshell finally happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's one heck of a deal, and on like the surface it looks like, I mean, obviously the Rams are going all in on this window. There's rumors that we're going to talk about in a second that still revolve around the Rams. I also think it's partly like the Browns, like, yeah, like let's try to get whatever we can out of Myles Garrett. At this point, we know he's, entering the later stage of his career. I mean, he's at around that 30 mark. I think he's 29, but I don't have the number exactly in front of me. George can fact check that while I'm talking. Thank you. But anyways,
he is 30.
Oh, so he is 30. So he did turn 30. Again, coming off of reigning defensive player of the year, like broke the sack record. They were, and the teams were running the ball in the fourth quarter because they were up. Like,
Yep.
I mean, once they didn't hire Jim Schwartz, they went the Todd Monken route. Like, he wasn't happy. I think Monken even said at the beginning of OTA, he's like, yeah, I haven't even talked to Myles Garrett yet. So it seemed like the writing was on the wall that this was headed for a divorce. Shout out to the Rams they get their quarterback in the draft this year, and they said, we're done worrying about our picks, and we're going to go all in and try to win a Super Bowl. They gave Stafford an extension, so they're doing everything they can.
Yes, they really are. I think, and I think we've talked about this multiple times, but it's impressive to me that the Rams have themselves in a position to be able to make a move like this when they have made three first round picks since 2016. One of them was Jared Goff, who got traded eventually for Stafford. One of them was Jared Verse, who just got traded in this trade. And then one was this year's pick for their backup quarterback. So, Myles Garrett is going to be a really big piece to this team as they try to make that final push in this final, probably, 2 years of Matt Stafford there. And I think it was a good move for that fact. But the fact that they even are this good of a team and can make this with all the wheeling and dealing they've done of their first-round picks and not having any of those be young guys in the system, but maybe, trading for vets like this is actually impressive.
No, I think so. And I think what's getting lost in this, too, is losing Jared Verse. Obviously, Myles Garrett is an upgrade, right? There's no arguing that. But Jared Verse was on... he was 2 years ago, he was the rookie of the year. He almost single-handedly beat the Eagles in the playoffs game. He was a really good player. Obviously, you hope that trend continues, and that's a lot to get up for, because I know people are like, heck, the Colts had to give up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, and the Rams only had to give up 1 and a second for Myles Garrett. Like, how does that make any sense? And that's because a guy of... What'd you say?
They basically go 2 firsts.
Yeah, well, Jared Verse for himself probably goes for a first and a third. Like, because
Fair.
of that caliber of player. And that's what the Browns said. We weren't actually going to trade him until we got a player of his caliber, being cost controlled and being all that, like the business side of it. So I think that's why I think that overall this deal makes a lot of sense for both teams. They get another young piece that this Browns can start building as they try to flesh out all the dead cap and get off Deshaun Watson in a year and truly start building this up. They'll probably always be Cleveland and it won't pan out, but like at least this is a step in the right direction. The Rams are going all in. And you know, it just seems like a good deal for both sides.
I think that's actually a really good exercise, the way you said that, on how to evaluate this trade, especially if you're a Browns fan, because they talked about like you only got one first for him, and people might not know the impact that Jared Verse could have. But like you said, Jared Verse probably goes for a first and a third if he's traded by himself. So if you were to turn that into this trade and say the Browns traded Myles Garrett for 2 firsts, a second, and 2/3, that might be a fairly true value for what you could have gotten for him going into his age 30 season. And I know that there was the whole, like, they were holding out for, 3 firsts or 4 firsts, or the joke that they could try to trade 5. But that's actually, I think, a very fair value, and I think it was a good trade for both sides.
Yeah, and a first and a third is, like, minimum. Like,
yeah,
I know he wasn't on the second contract yet, but where he was going, like, you would think he could get the Sauce Gardner deal in a year or two, like if he, continue that level. So maybe even being younger, you might have had to give up 2 firsts. Like it's hard to judge with the player, but I like leaving it as a first and third, viewing it as 2 firsts, a second, 2/3, and you should feel pretty good about that. I was trying to look up though. I think they did rework the Myles Garrett contract today.
Yeah, from what I understand, he didn't get an extension, but they reworked money.
Yes, but I think one of like the and if I can find it, and so this is just me if I remember correctly, they it's one of those things where they added a bunch of void years and stuff like that, and like there's options and stuff like that all the way out into like 2032, like
my gosh,
maybe even further. I'd have to look it up. I should have been more prepared. Again, apologize. Off season, but yeah, like the Rams are going all in, so much so that there is now a lot of buzz and a lot of rumors that one Mr. Aaron Donald might come out of retirement. And although he's 35, that would make them scary on the surface. And I mean, I was already probably going to, when we do our prediction show and who's going to win each division, I know the Seahawks are coming off the Super Bowl, but I probably was going to pick the Rams to win the conference this year anyways. And I think this only makes it stronger. And if they get wow, not Darnold. That's the Seahawks quarterbacks. Aaron Donald, like, it would just make their odds so much better. However, and you're an Eagles fan.
Yep.
They get Aaron Donald, we might hear the phrase dream team coming back. And you know what that's like.
Hyperventilating here, sorry.
When you shout out Chicago Bears, you didn't win the offseason this year. The Rams did. Maybe that'll change some things around for you. But I am going to get a lot of flack for that one if anyone is listening.
Oh, hopefully there's more coming, buddy. There's more coming.
But yeah, I think Aaron, it would be fun for football, right? And like I think he can still be very good at the age 35. Like look at Calais Campbell at 40. Like Aaron Donald is still going to be, an aspect of that team that would make them better. And I hope there's a part of me that wants him to come out, the football fan, as a team with the NFC East with Super Bowl aspirations. He can stay home. Or NFC, you're the NFC East. I'm the NFC North. I meant to say just the NFC.
Yes.
And just like stay at home.
Yeah, I would have to believe, like, it's interesting because he left with something in the tank. I think we can pretty confidently say, like, he could have probably played 2 more years, and it maybe wasn't peak Aaron Donald, but I can't say that he was completely spent. Like, with him sitting on the couch now and then coming back,
he's still in great shape.
I would have to think he's not going to be peak Aaron Donald still, but he would still be pretty darn good, and maybe the rest on his body would actually do well. It would definitely be scary. The Rams probably could use a little bit of someone like Aaron Donald in the interior to really finish shoring up
all
that defense.
32 teams can use Aaron Donald, even at the age of 35. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, just go to his Instagram account, and if you want to see this man working out, I know lifting weights is not the equivalent to, playing late into your 30s, but I think he can still be super effective. He's still a 300-plus pound man with a 6-pack. Like, He's in
Mm-hmm.
fantastic shape. He is going to make waves. And because Myles Garrett is there, because they went out and got uh, Trent McDuffie on the back end, they signed Justin Watson during free agency. Like, Aaron Donald doesn't have to be the best player on the defense anymore. He can be the fourth and still be very good and just still make a huge impact.
It's true. And we're, again, talking about a team that many of us thought should have beat the Seahawks to get into the Super Bowl last year. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. And you can at least argue they were the second best team in the NFC. So all those additions, and I have to think, like, who could have gotten worse on that team? Devontae Adams got 1 year older, and you have to hope that Stafford stays healthy. Outside of that, that team got way better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't even want to talk about it, but the Matt Stafford back injury is going to be the thing that scares everyone. But they bring that Airstream over, and it seems like it's all good. So,
yeah, exactly. They're all good. I also agree. I think that they were probably my favorite team, and we'll see if that stays that way when we get to our prediction show. And I'm interested to see where they have the line at for their over-under when we talk about some betting lines later. Because if it's still where it was when I was looking at it earlier this week, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't higher. So there's a tease for you, and we'll see if it stayed there.
I'm sure it moved.
They probably did. Then, okay, we'll move on to the trade that I did tease at the top of the show. That did happen. A.J. Brown was, in fact, traded for a first-round pick, but it's a first-round pick in 2028 to the Patriots, and the Eagles got back a 2027 fifth. Do you think that was an overpay by the Patriots, like a lot of people are saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's how you look at it, right? Like, I understand that the NFL has this weird thing where, like, a 2028 first is valued at a 2027 second, right? Like, they say a year out is always you value down around. Whether that's right or wrong, this is still a first round pick, right? And I mean, I think everyone thinks the Patriots overachieved last year. I think there is, chance for regression. Drake May looked good, potential to continue that. I think this is great for AJ Brown if we're talking a fantasy perspective. And if you guys honestly think that, like, your AJ Brown being the true number one, bringing in Romeo Doubs to be number two, you have the running backs and another year with Mike Vrabel's defense, you think that could be continue to put you over the top and get you back to the big dance. Like, I don't think it's an overpay. However, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have given up the first. Like, I can understand kind of because it is a 2028 and you're like, that's too far away now. Like, I might not even have my job then. I'm not, like, let's get the guy. Like, so I understand that aspect of it. But if you would have told me it was a second in 2028, I'd have felt better. If you would have told me it was a third and a fifth, like a third this year and a fifth next year, I'd have felt better. I like to hold on to my first round picks. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that makes it feel like an overpay is, and we don't know for sure where the discussions were or whatever, it seemed like no one else was willing to pay that first, so why the Patriots? And then I think it all comes back to Vrabel, and there's been so much around Vrabel this offseason and whatever that it's like, it feels like this almost was to get the scent off of that. But for real, this is a good move for the Patriots because I do think their passing game was kind of what the problem was from putting them over the top last year. We don't know if it was just Drake May still coming into his own or if it was the fact that the wide receiver talent around him was fairly limited. Stephon Diggs didn't seem like he's the same guy he's been. They had Kayshon Boutte and they had a couple other guys. Matt Collins, like, woo.
Yeah.
Adding Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown makes a big deal.
I
wouldn't be surprised if Boutte wants out now that he's third on the depth chart. And I think he probably could be a number two somewhere. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has potential, or maybe just wants to go to a different team where there might be some more opportunities, even if that's fighting for a number three. Like, not going back to the Rams, but their third wide receiver right now is Jordan Whittingham. Like, would you want to go get more opportunities with, like, Devontae Adams getting older, Puka with the injury history that he has had? You'd still be a number three, but at least you would have something, and who knows what the Rams are going to do. The one last thing I'll say, though, about the compensation is sometimes as fans, I do think we tend to get caught up on the compensation. And like you said, who were the Eagles bidding against, right? And because when we play fantasy football or we play, you know, the GM games on the internet and whatnot, it's like we want the most value. You're playing Madden, we want the most value possible, right?
Mhm.
But I think we forget sometimes like the players leverage. Like we've seen that, like Myles Garrett, we just talked about, he had a no trade clause. Like he had to, which is rare in the NFL, but he had a no trade clause. So he had to waive it to get moved to the Los Angeles Rams. Devontae Adams, a couple years, you know, when he went from Green Bay to Las Vegas, he was on the franchise tag with Green Bay. And he was like, I only want to go to Las Vegas and pair up with my college quarterback and Derek Carr. And they still got a first and a second for him, right? So, and
Yeah.
AJ Brown seemed like there was 4 teams that he was willing to go to. And so they were already in a narrow thing, but New England was his top choice. And it sounds like the Eagles did by right. Obviously, they gave up the first round pick and they went there too. So sometimes I think from an outside, because it's like whoever gets the best deal, that's where you're going. But these players do have a little bit of leverage. Like, well, I'm not going to sign a contract extension there. I'm not going to play there. Like, I'm going to hold out for a bigger contract. And that goes into a factor too. And that's the kind of stuff that we don't have when we just see player gets traded for X or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I have one more AJ question for you here because I saw an article and there was a quote in it basically saying AJ Brown confirmed that he leaked information to the media about the Eagles trying to get stuff done, whether that being change stuff on the offense or get himself traded. Are you worried at all, especially because now he's at his dream destination and he basically already meant that, he called it heaven, that he's going to be a problem in New England if he's not getting enough passing work himself?
No, I think that's deeper than just targets. I think I don't think he liked the offense.
Well,
Like,
that's for sure, yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he liked the offense. I don't think he trusted Jalen Hurts for what it's like, right or wrong. Like, that's not the topic of today. And so I think he was just fed up with the situation. So it got him a ring and he gets to go play for someone else. I don't expect it to be an issue.
I agree with that, but I just wanted to see if you thought differently, because I know me being in the scope of hearing so much, probably an unhealthy amount of Philly media, it's been a lot of rip AJ Brown, as you would expect, and it was good to get an outside perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty much all in on AJ Brown fantasy football this year. Like, I don't know where his current ADP is right now. I don't know how the trade is going to affect it. I'm sure you probably have to give it a little bit of time to be adjusted because they was getting drafted. Like, is he going to be, which we all knew he wasn't going to be there, like the biggest kept secret.
Yeah. I think we knew that from fantasy rankings anyway, because I mean, I don't know where he's at in redraft, but in best ball, I remember last week, him and Devontae Smith were like back-to-back in rankings in the end of the second round.
Yeah, and I would take AJ over Devontae Smith.
I agree with that too. I mean, Eagles, if they're going to be running the Packers offense, are going to be spreading that ball out a little bit more, but Devontae Smith's still going to be a solid receiver.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Want to hit some contract extensions quick?
Yes, sir.
All right, so down in Atlanta, Drake London cashed in a payday, 4 years, $141 million on his extension. They are obviously not too worried about his injury history by putting that one in, but obviously the talent matches the contract.
Yes. Who did you just say?
Drake London.
Okay. I heard injury, so I thought you might have pivoted to the next guy. But
I mean, there's injuries there as well, but
so that's why it threw me off. I was like, I see the order, then I heard injury. Do we switch it up? But no, Drake London, I mean, one heck of a payday. When he's healthy, he's been elite. I think he's a really good player. He's been solid, and he's getting the going price of a star caliber wide receiver. Like, I don't know if I would put him in the S tier of wide receivers in the league with your Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka, JSN. Yeah, those are probably your S tier.
That's probably the S tier, yeah.
And I was trying to think if there was any other. The Bears fans are going Luther Burden. I've seen a lot of that on Twitter.
Oh my gosh, not yet.
Remember, I was on the Luther Burden bandwagon last year. I hated that he went to Chicago, and I think he's gonna have a good year.
But he's not.
Yeah, but I think he's
receiver. No, but he's
they're
like
not
A tier receiver like AJ Brown.
Yeah, that's fair. He might even be a little bit better. Like AJ Brown might be A-. I was thinking like they're completely different in their play style, but
Yep.
like he would be in that tier where like Amon-Ra St. Brown, probably AJ Brown I would throw in there. Uh, I am panicking. Like I am failing on the
This
spot
is
here.
hard on the fly, honestly.
Like a healthy Terry McLaurin might be up there in that category. So
Nico Collins, if he's healthy.
yeah, I'd
Yeah.
put Nico above Terry just in general.
But in that tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're on the same page.
Someone in the comments is like, did they not say this player? Did you not say X, Y, or Z? Where's Chris Olave? Where's obviously no one's saying where's Chris Olave, but
Traded Chris Olave for a first round pick in Dynasty.
you did. I could go on a rabbit hole of Dynasty, but I don't want to.
Yeah, no, we'll leave that. You want to talk Christian Watson, though, I'm sure, as he signed a 4-year, $110 million extension. Second wide receiver extension for Green Bay this offseason. They also signed Jaden Reed.
Yeah, and I think so. Right on the surface, right? Like you mentioned, the Green Bay offense, they lose Romeo Dobbs, they lose Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles. They now
Eagles just signed
pay,
Samaje Toure also.
yeah, and then but the Packers they now have Watson locked up, Reed locked up, and Golden as a former first round pick. Like in that, and they complement each other well. That seems like it's going to be their big three. Throwing Tucker Kraft as your top 4 pass catching options, right? So I think that's exciting for fantasy. I've seen a lot of pushback on what has Christian Watson done that has warranted the 4-year, $110 million extension. I slightly understand that pushback. However, I just watched Alex Pierce make more. So
Yes.
he's right around the Jameson Williams number. I get that. And
And I
if
would
you want
argue who did Jameson Williams do, too, so maybe this is market value.
right, so we're in the market value range. And just to put the the bow on it, because there is the injury concern. Alex Pierce, $84 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Watson, 31. Like this is
Wow.
yeah. Like this is a big number, but there's going to be a lot of like it might become roster bonus guarantees in the future years, and he'll probably see next year see but typically, especially for wide receivers, the Packers don't go past the signing bonus, and the signing bonus was announced as $31 million, and that's probably the guarantees. Maybe there's a $5 million bonus if he's on the roster next year or something like that. The full details aren't out. But when healthy, which I understand that is a massive asterisk in his career, he has been an elite wide receiver at down the field. He has beaten up teams. He's been great in fantasy when healthy. I get it. I have a G on my chest right now. I have a G behind me. I got a Packers helmet behind me. So I'm going to bleed green and gold. I'm going to sound like a homer right here. And that's okay. I'm allowed to sound like that for this moment. I love Christian Watson. He might not ever be the greatest wide receiver. He might not ever be a top 10 wide receiver in the league, but the way he plays football, the way he goes about it, he's just one of those guys that I think will go down as like an all-time Packers great. And not comparing them from a statistical play style or anything like that, but like I see, and Jordy Nelson might end up being better than Christian Watson. But like Jordy Nelson is almost like a Packers, icon legend, right? Anyone else in the NFL is probably like, wait, I haven't heard Jordy Nelson name in forever. I think Christian Watson could be that too. Is that worth 110 million? TBD. I expect a big breakout for him. If he stays healthy, we'll be looking like this was a steal.
That's 100% true. I mean, we've seen it in stretches. Even last year, there was a stretch where Christian Watson was really playing up to that potential. It's not even like we're talking about was it 2023 or 2024 stretch where it was like, oh man, this young guy has a shot. Like now we've seen it a second time, and we know that he's been working on the hamstrings to try to make it so that those hamstring injuries don't come up as much, even them out. I don't think this is an overpay because of what you said about like some of those other guys getting contracts in this window. I didn't know anything about the guaranteed money being that low too, which then it seems like a steal to the Packers. It's almost a low risk situation. I know there's still cap effects on whatever, but the fact that they can cut that contract in basically a third if he ends up having these injury issues, makes that super low risk for the Packers for a guy who has such a high ceiling, especially now that I think since they cut down that wide receiver room, they're still heavy there with, the 4 targets, but there were before 6 guys we were always arguing about. So I think this is going to be very interesting this year to see how him and Jaden Reed, and if Golden breaks out, kind of fall into specific roles on the offense and can actually be more frequent week to week contributors, as opposed to last year it was like all over the place, or the last few years.
Like, don't get me wrong, this is still Green Bay. Bill Melton's gonna have his game, okay? Like, we're still gonna have the Bill Melton game.
But still, before it was like, yeah, we're gonna have the Bill Melton game, and that's gonna affect 7 different guys, and now it's like the Bill Melton game is gonna affect 4 or 3 different guys.
Yeah. So just for reference here, this new deal is 27.6 annual salary. It's actually a little bit less because they extended him last year. So it's really if you add that year onto it, it's like 5 years, 23 million. But we'll go with just the current contract extension. That puts him right. He puts him at basically DJ Moore. He's less than Jalen Waddle. He's slightly over Jameson Williams, and he's under Alex Pierce. The number that it might this year might look better is he's $2 million more than Devonta Smith. But I think that's ironic because now it's 2 guys that, like, Devonta Smith has a clear path to be the number 1.
Yep.
But now Christian Watson is paid for it after going through it years of, by committee. And I still think there'll be a committee, but those 2, like, in how they progress, I think will be a fun, fascinating thing. Not just because of the money, but because of how everything pans out for both those teams this year.
And I'll make a bet Devonta Smith's getting a contract extension after this season unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So above that number for now, but that's not going to be for long, I don't think.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, sir. One more contract extension to touch on. We have the Steelers extended tight end Darnell Washington, 4 years, $42 million. Not someone we talk about too much in fantasy, but he was a key part of the way that team was operating down the stretch last year.
Yeah, and they like to play in that big tight end personnel, so they'll use him. And just because we're talking Steelers tight ends, they did sign Robert Tonyan. If you haven't heard that name for a while, he's now on the Steelers as well. Joins Aaron
And they
Rodgers.
still have Muth, and they have another guy I feel like they signed recently too. Their tight end room is just loaded.
So that's what they're gonna just run heavy and throw to tight ends.
Yes, they are, because that's all they can do. Michael Parsons, they announced that he is not expected to return until at least mid-November, coming off of his ACL injury. He did injure the ACL in December, so not like that is a far out, why is it taking so long kind of timeline, but obviously not good news for the Packers to start the season.
I mean, I guess that depends on if you pay attention or just like. So the Packers, and this all came from Micah, right? Like, this wasn't reports. Like, Micah did locker room, and this is where all the details were. And he's like, the Packers have a strict limit, or like strict 9-month recovery. Like, they don't deviate from that. They'll give you longer if you need it, but like they're not pushing that up. No matter how you're.
Yeah.
And I think even Micah was like, as much as I want to play week 1, like, it's more important that I'm available in the playoffs and don't re-injure myself or do something because I'm overcompensating. So that 9-month mark is like the end of October, week 3, week 4. So there's the slight chance he comes back in week 5 against the Chicago Bears, which I think a lot of people will like. And even if it's 5 snaps at home against the Chicago Bears, I think that would be good. But I don't think the Packers care enough about that if he's not ready, they're not going to put him out there. The one thing to pay close attention to, and this isn't just a Micah Parsons thing, is if you remember back at the beginning of the season, we were talking about league rule changes.
Yeah.
So now players that start on the PUP don't have to wait 4 weeks to even begin to practice. Oh. They can start practicing after 2 weeks. So anyone that starts on the PUP, they can start practicing week 2. They cannot be activated until week 5. But they can at least start practicing to get that ramp up period too. So that'll be something to monitor as well. When does he actually start practicing? Because I imagine, just because I've seen the Packers operated for most of my life, they'll use that full 3-week window. So like if he starts practicing week 2, maybe he does come back week 5. He doesn't start practicing until week 4 or week, then he's not coming back until week 7.
I'm also interested if that's going to be incentive for some of these teams who have guys that are on the border and like not confident they're going to play week 3 or week 4 if they just put them on PUP to give them the ramp up.
Yeah, I think for sure. And
might see more of it this year than we have in the past.
Yeah, I just remember the difference between PUP and IR is PUP you have to be designated on before training camp. And if you start to practice, you come off of PUP and you can't go back on. So then you would have to go to short-term IR.
And IR, I believe you have to make the 53-man roster and then get moved to IR?
That was changed last year as well. You can you can do 2 players at the cutdown day, and we'll go over this again in August when we talk about it. But up to 2 players can be designated to return later on cutdown day.
Cody with all of the roster needs and wants that we have here. Moving on to what I think was a very interesting reunion. Odell Beckham Jr. announced he is returning to the New York Giants after sitting on the couch last year.
Yeah, I mean, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he reunites with Harbaugh, too, being somebody he played with a year in Baltimore.
He goes to the Giants. He had that nice one-handed catch in the flag football game earlier this offseason. So, let's see how he pans out. It'll be fun. It'll be fun for him. He'll get to come back and give him one last shot, potentially. I do want to ask you, though, and I don't know if this is too much reading into it or just where your level of concern is. So, on the same day that the Giants signed OBJ, they also added Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep.
And they also added Braxton Berrios, which is morely a special teams player, but that's 3 wide receivers. And it's also, we're hoping that Malik Neighbors is ready for the season. Like, where is the concern level of Malik Neighbors going into 2026?
Extremely high. On top of everything you just said there, I'm not sure if you saw it circulating around on social media. He was playing in a celebrity softball game where Ramondre Stevenson almost got his knee taken out by comedian Matt Rife. If you haven't seen that, check that out too. Him running to first base looked bad. Like, he doesn't have his stride or his gait back yet. And we're talking about it's June, and he's how far away from that knee injury? I know they said it was major, and there seemed to be other complications, and he's been through multiple surgeries. Like, I am avoiding him at all costs this year, and if I'm a Giants fan, I think I see the writing on the wall of we're trying to prepare for life without having him this year and hoping he's back either late in the year or going into 27.
Yeah, and so he tore his ACL week 4 of last year.
So by that point, if there were no complications or it was like, a straightforward ACL, he should be running fairly normally by now. And then he would be one of those, like, trying to ramp him up in training camp to see if he's 100%.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm with you too. I am fading on Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. Couple more pieces of news. We have Russell Wilson officially announced his retirement, and he is going to join the media team at CBS. So claps to him on a great career.
Is it great? Is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer?
Well, he didn't get an MVP vote, so.
So is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer?
I personally think no. I think it was a good career, but I kind of feel like he falls into the tier of players like I don't think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer.
And he has 2 rings. I mean, he's going to get in, right? Like,
yeah.
Because I feel like if you're a quarterback and you win a Super Bowl, you get in. But
unless you're like Nick Foles. That's a different story.
Yeah, because he didn't even play a full season.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he has, but not
not successfully, really.
Other than that one 24-7, 24-3. Yeah, 27-2 interception thing. But no, I mean, congrats on a good career. I think the thing that's the most interesting about Russell Wilson is I was talking to a friend of the show, Chance, yesterday about this same question. I asked him if he's, Hall of Famer, and he was like, is he even better than Phillip Rivers? And I was like, that's a valid question. Phillip Rivers never won a ring. And I ultimately ended on I think Russell Wilson's highs are better than Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his lows are way worse than Phillip Rivers. And like
That's fair. I would actually almost take Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement after 5 years last year than I would Russell Wilson at his low.
yeah, that's what I'm like Phillip Rivers 5 years after retirement and Russell Wilson last year, like you probably are taking Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
However, like the highs are better, but like the consistency wasn't there. Uh, he seemed to be propelled by an elite defense even in that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he did throw an interception to lose a Super Bowl with an all-pro running back standing to his right needing 1 yard, known for getting tough yards. But that's a, and maybe that's also just me for, you know, having some jealousy over the Fail Mary and the comeback in Seattle blowing the 16-0 lead. And I get that. Maybe there's some jaded animosity towards him. But again, I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he was Hall of Fame. But I feel I've learned over the last several years what I view as a Hall of Famer is not always necessarily a Hall of Famer. And we're getting closer to Hall of Fame becoming Pro Bowl. We're not quite there yet, but
we better
it's
never
becoming
get there. But I mean, also the standards of the Pro Bowl have fallen to the point where Shadur Sanders makes it. So,
yep.
speaking of consolation prizes, Cody knows where I'm going.
A plus.
They announced the Madden cover athlete, and it is Caleb Williams. And I am still sitting here days later trying to figure out what accomplishment he had to get himself on the cover. And Cody's the only one that said the only one that makes sense. But the accomplishment I have on here is the closest Bears quarterback to getting to 4,000 yards passing without actually getting there.
That's valid. I don't know. I mean, obviously now I got to use my fandom against me. The people are going to be like, you just don't like. I have Caleb Williams in a dynasty football league, and I took it like I liked him again. Another player I liked coming out. I didn't like that he went to Chicago because I was one of those guys. Even if he doesn't go to your favorite team, you want to follow him. But to your point, what did he do to get the Madden cover? Maybe they didn't want to repeat Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or
Probably.
Saquon Barkley. Like, I think it would have been maybe Jahmyr Gibbs didn't want it. Maybe JSN or Puka. Well, they didn't want Puka with his offseason. JSN didn't want it. Like,
Maybe.
so it's cool, right? Like
Myles
he did
Garrett
that. Like,
didn't want it.
well,
I mean, I switched teams. That would have been fun, but that wouldn't be the first time someone switched teams and they got a Madden cover.
Yeah, look at Brett Favre.
Yep.
Anyways, the
Tom
Caleb
Brady,
Williams.
I think, too, did.
I think it was fun. Like the cover itself is fun. That they got to do like his jump throw cutout over Chicago, which kind of emulates the Michael Jordan Chicago free throw jump. Like I'm not saying they're the same thing, but like it's a fun play on the cover. I think what's might even be more egregious is, you know what his Madden rating is?
Give me like an 85.
90. For being the cover athlete, he's gonna be 90.
Huh?
Yeah.
Number one, I don't think he needs to be all the way up at 90. Number two, the fact that the cover athlete's a 90.
Yeah. Whichever way you want to go. Is
It's
Caleb
wrong
Williams
both
the 90?
ways.
Or is the cover athlete only a 90 a problem? Whatever.
This gets better and better.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure every Bears fan in existence has blocked our socials at this point, but
Yeah, George is going to definitely clip it because he wants to get those views up. So if you're a Bears fan, leave a comment, like it. We'd appreciate it.
yes, we would. And always, as much as I like making fun of the Bears and I like arguing like with Bears fans, it honestly is normally a pretty good discussion. Like any kind of other metrics aside.
Yeah. Week 5 and Christmas Day. Be some fun times for us.
There you go. All right, Cody. Why don't we move on to our next segment, because that news segment took way longer than I expected it to, as it usually does. Why don't you talk some over-unders here?
Okay.
So what I figured we'd do, I'm going to go on DraftKings here on my phone, literally live, and I'm going to look at some futures bets for over-unders on win totals for this coming season. I'm sure there's some that are not super shocking, some that are kind of surprising. And really quickly, you and I can quick hit like, would we go over under that bet? Is it a good line, etc.
Sounds good.
I want to start at the
Also,
top. Go
caveat,
ahead. Yep.
right? This is June 4th at the time of being live and recording this. We have the right to change our opinion at our prediction show late August.
Agreed. And we are also, this is not financial advice. Do not, if you have a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, all that stuff. DraftKings is not a sponsor, but should be.
Agreed.
Did we hit all that?
I think so.
Cool. I want to start at the top because it's funny. The first thing when you do when you click on futures and then wins is Arizona Cardinals pops up because they're the first in alphabetical order. Their line set at 3.5.
So, what are we talking like odds wise?
So it's plus 115 to go under 3, to go 3 or under, minus 140 to go over.
Yeah, so the line is probably great. Like 3 wins feels like a lot.
I feel like I want to smash over it. At the same time, I'm like, but do I?
Yeah, I mean, especially not even to win a full dollar for your dollar. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm probably gonna take the under. Like, no joke, in that division, like that sticks losses. I don't even know who they're playing off the top of my head. The rest of the, like what their other schedule is, but yeah, I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take it.
I'm going to go over because I have a feeling that they're going to do their normal Arizona thing and get 2 to 3 wins in the first 5 weeks of the season. Because
do you remember that Titans game last year? Ain't no way
they
they're
also
winning.
were like 3-1 through 4 weeks, weren't they?
Okay, that might be fair, but then
and they've done that like every year, and then they win 2 games the rest of the season.
That's so crazy.
It's the only reason I would say more than 3.5. Is that right there? I'm gonna throw some what we expect to be higher win teams into here next. So I'm going to go down to Baltimore next. Their line's at 11.5. And that is kind of flipped opposite, plus 115 for over, minus 140 for under.
Baltimore. Ooh, 11.5 is a good line. I'm going to take the under, though. I don't think they're getting to 12.
12 is a tough number in a tough division, so I'd go under as well. But like 10 or 11.
Yeah, like if it was 10.5, I think that'd actually be a better line.
Yeah, and I think kind of the odds prove it, but there's also a point where it's like you're in the middle.
That's true.
Buffalo is actually 1 win under them, so they have the 10.5 line. And that's plus 100 for under and minus 120 for over.
Oh, that's another very tough one for me because I've been like saying I think Buffalo is going to take a step back. I think they're probably even going to take another step back after losing Sean McDermott. But like Josh Allen's been so good that he just continues to like prove.
And his offense didn't change. I mean, his offensive coordinator became the head coach, so the offense is going to be the same.
I will say under as well, and they get to 10. I think it'll be very close.
I'm going to go over on that one, and I think part of it also is I think there's a step down from New England.
I'm going back to over because they have the Jets and the Dolphins. That's 4 wins.
And then they take 1 at least from New England, and I think they have a shot to take 2.
I'll say they even lose both, and they can still get to 11.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair either way there. Carolina Panthers, their line after winning a division last year is set at 7.5. Over plus 110, under minus 130.
Can you repeat it one more time?
7.5 is their line.
For who?
Carolina Panthers. After winning a division last year, their line is at 7.5.
I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to go over as well. And that's plus odds for over. So, pretty surprising there. Because as much as you can say, like, maybe they didn't deserve to win that division, there's some decent teams there. It's like no one's a barn burner in that division. You have to think the worst are going 3-3.
Yeah, I'm taking the over, and they finish 8-9. I'm not saying they win the division. I'm just saying I'm taking the over at 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 seems a little low for them to me.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals is always an interesting one because we have to decipher if we think Joe Burrow is going to make the full season. Their line's at 10.5 plus 115 for over, minus 140 to go under 10.5.
I'm gonna
That's
go under.
also a very tough division.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under.
I'm going under as well. I think they have a shot to sneak into a wild card this year, but I think it's at like 10 wins.
I don't know about that.
Interested to see where they kind of fall when I like really break things down when we do our season predictions later. They're a team that kind of could go either way.
For sure. Who you got next?
Dallas Cowboys.
Over.
Over. So it's 9.5. Over is 115 plus 115. Under is minus 140.
Over.
Over. If I'm trying to determine if they fix the defense, I do like the coordinator they brought in. I'll say over 9.5. Sure.
Yeah, they're gonna win the division.
Probably.
So I'm taking the over. You need more than 9.5 to win it.
Yeah. Okay. The Denver Broncos, after being an injured quarterback probably away from a Super Bowl appearance last year, their line is also set at 9.5. Minus 110 for over, minus 110 for under. So straight odds, basically. As straight as you're going to get in a sports book.
So basically a pick 'em.
Yep.
And we're gonna say I'll go over. They get to 10. That's still 7 losses.
Yes.
So
when you say it that way, it makes me second guess. I'm going to go under because I don't think the Chiefs are as bad again as last year.
Yeah. I think their defense, I know defenses tend to like variate more than offenses do from a year-to-year basis. I just think their defense is too good to not keep them in games. And I mean, it's smart. Sean Payton likes to go right around 500 for most of his career, but some reason he is the greatest coach that ever lived. We don't need to get into that.
No, exactly. I'm skipping a couple of teams, obviously. So if there's anyone you missed that you want to hear, I will go back to it. But I'm going to jump down to the Green Bay Packers now. 9.5 line as well. Minus 140 for over, plus 115 to go under.
I am going to say over. I can't justify saying under. Like, I think they have a solid team. I think they're going to get healthier. Down the stretch, they end with a bunch of games on the road or at home, excuse me, in Lambeau Field. There is a lot of question marks around Green Bay, which makes this one tough, right? Like if Micah doesn't get back till December, how does that line adjust? We don't have any more clarity than last week on the Josh Jacobs situation. Does the players, does Tucker Kraft have a setback, right? Like everyone just expect him to be back too, but he's also recovering from an ACL injury. So I get the questions, but I think the players, the coach, the talent level, I would have them going to at least 10 wins.
I think people last year and in general underestimate just how well-rounded and well-coached of a team the Packers have been. They might not have the superstar power at every position or whatever, but they're just very good complementary, and they're very good, from a coaching standpoint. So I'm
Except
going
when they're
over
up late in the fourth quarter. They've struggled with that. So before anyone jumps down your throat, I'll pack you up.
Thank you. But I'm going to go over as well because I do think that 10-11 wins is well in reach for them.
What's the Bears? Did you say them already?
I may have skipped them.
They're curious.
At 9.5. So same line, plus 100 for over, minus 120 for under.
Okay. And the Lions.
And the Lions are at 10.5. I believe they are the highest in that division when it comes to like projected wins. Over is minus 110, under minus 112.
Okay. I think it's going to be tough on how they all finish out. On paper, the Lions have a super easy schedule because they finished fourth place last year. You expect them to bounce back. The Bears, you think they come back a little bit, regress from all their, one game scores. Maybe not. Some teams have
But
done that
even
back to
yet,
back
like if
years.
they regress from last year, they could still get 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So
So I think it'll be a very competitive division for sure.
yeah. And I'll come back up the list here, but then just to also talk here, because that was the one division that was all over 500 last year. Minnesota's line's at 8.5.
Oh, buddy.
That seems like a scream under to me.
So the NFC, so like if Kyler, right, like if Kevin O'Connell does for Kyler what he did for Sam Darnold, I could see it being an over. How many games after COD's release does... No, I'm just kidding.
How many games does Carson Wentz have to start?
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Hitting my microphone for anyone listening in the car.
You're good.
No one's listening to us in June anyway, so we just do this because we like each other.
We're having fun here. Interesting one here. Jacksonville, who was one of the surprise teams last year. Their line's at 8.5. Minus 125 to go over, plus 105 to go under.
I'm taking the over.
I think I'm going...
They're the second best team in that division.
Toss up for second best to me. I think it depends on if C.J. Stroud wakes himself up.
So who was the first?
Indy.
What? No
I'm a
way.
Daniel Jones believer now.
Coming off of an Achilles?
Yeah, it's true.
Late in the season?
That's a tough sell.
We saw the Giants do this. They got duped once by giving the man a contract. This time he's coming off an Achilles.
So the sportsbook have Indy as the third best team in the division, 7.5, and then Houston 9.5.
Yeah, I think the sportsbook have it right in terms of order.
And I have it backwards.
I can't believe you just said Indy. Thinking this is Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Yeah, right. Kansas City has a line at 10.5, plus 115 to go over, minus 140 to go under.
I'm taking the under.
I'm not convinced they're rebounding either. They don't have anyone to throw the ball to.
So, I did see an AI clip of Keenan Allen running for the Chiefs, and that scared Chargers fans and on the internet. So,
I bet it did. The Chargers still haven't ruled out re-signing him, and their line's at 9.5, over minus 130, under plus 110.
Where do you have the Chiefs finishing? Like on June 4th? You still have Denver first?
I think I still have the Chiefs third.
Yeah, for me, it's a toss-up between them and the Chargers. I think the Chargers always get more hype. You're obviously a Chargers fan, so I won't hit the button.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, they're never going to win in the playoffs. They just don't. But, like, they're solid, seems like normally second-place finishers in the division every year.
So, interesting one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's get to the Rams line. It has not moved. Yeah, it has not moved since I last looked. I think it's a pretty good number. It's 11.5.
I'm taking the over.
You're very confident.
I mean, I get taking the under from the sense that, like, the 49ers are still there. It's still the Seahawks. Like,
yeah, that's what gets me. That's why I think it's a good line.
I'm going to look this up. I didn't do this for anyone else, but since this is the last over-under, I'm going to look at the Rams schedule.
Okay.
And I'm just going to play it out in my head. I'm going to go rapid fire once it loads. All right, so week 1 at Kansas City. I'm going to give them the win. Patrick Mahomes' first game back. I give them the win. The Saints, I'm going to give them the win against the Saints. Okay. Week 3 is the Chargers at the Chargers. I will give them a win as well. Oh, sorry. That's the preseason. That's a crazy. Ignore everything I just said. Let's restart. I was like, I didn't think they played the Chiefs. I thought they played San Fran. So I'm giving them a win over San Fran because they got them as a home game, but not at home where San Fran dominates the crowd. So I'm going to give them the win.
Okay.
Week 2 is the Giants. I'm going to give them the win.
Cool.
Week 3 at Denver, I'm gonna give them a loss, just to give them a loss. Okay. Week 4 at the Eagles, I'm gonna give them a win. Week 5 versus the Bills, that one's at home. Monday Night Football, I'm gonna give them the win there. Cardinals win, Raiders win, Chargers win, Commanders win, Cardinals win. By week 11 versus Green Bay, let's give them a loss there just so I can feel better about myself. Now they play the Chiefs, so ironically they play the Chiefs in the preseason and in week 13, but I will give them a win against the Chiefs. At San Fran, sure, that's a loss. Versus the Cowboys is a win. Ooh, Seattle 2 times in 3 weeks to end it. So I'll split that and then a win against the Buccaneers. So where am I at?
That puts you at 13.
Okay. That's 13, and there was probably 2 in there that you might be able to switch, but that would be 11. So I think it's a good line, like you said, but I would take the over.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm leaning over, but yeah, okay, it's a good line.
All right, so since we're talking betting lines here, you did over-unders. I had one thing I wanted to throw out for you. So I heard this on another podcast. They were talking about Coach of the Year odds, and George just unplugged his camera, so hopefully you can still hear me.
I can.
Okay, perfect.
If you can hear me.
I did. All right, so Coach of the Year odds, right? And this is just this is BetMGM. DraftKings doesn't really matter. They're all relatively close. Some of them are a little bit different. Some of them have some drastic numbers. Sometimes it's even hard to find the actual numbers like on your apps and stuff like that. But we're going to go to, I'm going to use BetMGM because that's the one I have up right now. I'm going to read you the odds for Coach of the Year for some of these players, and you tell me if it's too high or too low. So number 1 at +5, I don't know if it's plus or minus. I assume it's plus 500 because it's a long odds. They don't have pluses or minus here. John Harbaugh feels like the people's choice, the offseason darling, whatnot. Okay.
Fair. Yep. And he would take a bad team to being good. That's another, always big hit towards pushing towards Coach of the Year.
And then his former team is number 2, Jesse Minter. Okay. Fine. But so those are 1 and 2. We get all the way down to 13 plus 22, Ben Johnson. Okay. 16, 17, tied at 3,000, Matt LaFleur and his brother Mike LaFleur. Of that Cardinals team that we didn't think was going to win 3 times. Okay. So let me read you the coaches that are behind him currently. Mike LaFleur, that is. This is also behind Aaron Glenn, who is actually ahead of Matt LaFleur, but that's it as well.
That's funny.
The coaches behind Mike LaFleur right now: Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, D'Amico Ryans, Mike McDonald, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, reigning Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel. That one might be because of was he going to get fired? We don't want to put odds out.
That's the only excusable one.
Nick Sirianni, if you wanted to throw him in there. Dan Quinn. This is not the order. This is just the big name coaches that are the only new coach that has worse odds to win Coach of the Year is Jeff Hafley down in Miami. And then the rest of those guys are behind him. So just want to throw that out there.
So what you're telling me is it almost sounds like they're treating Coach of the Year like comeback Coach of the Year or like rookie Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Robert Saleh is 3, Joe Brady is 5, Kellen Moore is 4, Mike McCarthy is 6, like Stefanski is 7.
120% storyline driven.
For sure. Clint Kubiak. Todd Monken is ahead of Dan Campbell. So just yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it's 100% like, if Dan Campbell has a great year, it's like, cool, Dan Campbell had a great year. But if Todd Monken has a great year, they're like, oh my God, it's Todd Monken and the Browns. Like, it's 100% storylines.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's saying a $20 bet on one Mr. Sean McVay. $1,000. 5,000 odds. Like what? I get
So
it.
what I can
Everyone's
say
expecting.
is like normally sportsbook odds and stuff like that can tell you something, and I don't want to say they have insider info because they definitely don't, but they definitely like have insights on how to vote, how voters think and such. And this 100% outlines exactly how they think for this award, in my opinion.
Yeah. And this site does have like DraftKings awards, and again, not a sponsor. But I did go on DraftKings earlier today, and you can actually make a bet on this too. So like I don't know where they're even pulling the odds from. I'm not using DraftKings because I couldn't find them, but that was just something I saw that was interesting today.
That's wild. Thank you for bringing that one up because that's
Yeah.
a fun thing to look at. This
Shout
time
out
of year.
Pack a Day Podcast for highlighting that last week. So,
Cool.
All right, I know we're over an hour.
Mhm.
Do we join the craze of social media, or do we just get out of here?
I'm good to keep going.
All right, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to throw something up on the screen here. If you made it an hour, this is the time to pull over the car and head to Spotify video or hop on YouTube. And if you're still here listening, so if you've spent any time on X or maybe even Blue Sky, I don't know about Threads, 82-0, which is a basketball quiz game where you get to build a team based on eras and teams and try to build an 82-0 roster, has been a phenomenon over the last couple of days. And now we have a 20-0, which is the NFL version. So you're going to build the best NFL team. You can do both sides of the ball, which George and I are going to do. And we are going to do the gridiron IQ, which means we won't get the stats. If you do classic, you'll get the stats, but that's no fun. You want to do the gridiron one. We get one re-roll if we really can't stand it. And so we are going to pick, I believe, 20 players, and the first 12 are off. So that's the only thing about this is the first roll, the first 10 or 12 rolls are all offense. So you can't put the player on defense. You have to wait till the defensive rolls. So just so you know. All right.
This is going to give us a lot of old era stuff and really throw us for a loop, isn't it? So it's 12 rounds, by the way.
Yeah.
It's got to be 6 and 6.
And it's one of those things where you can't readjust. So we'll see the first one. I'll give you so like Philly 2021, 2025, right?
Yeah.
And our roster is, I'm sorry, there's only 12 spots. So the first 6 roles are offense. You get a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, tight end, 2 flexes. And then on defense, you get edge, DT, linebacker, cornerback, safety, and a defensive flex. This one seems like a no-brainer.
2,000 yards, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, so we're going to take Saquon Barkley. Running back spot, we're going to put him there. All right, we spin again. We got Pittsburgh 2011, 2015. And
there's some really good Antonio Brown years in this era.
Yeah, so we're going to take Antonio Brown, the football player, not the person.
Yes, there we go.
We'll
that's a good way.
Throw him in the wide receiver spot. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, that was a good start.
Seattle 2006 to 2010.
Was this already good Marshawn Lynch territory?
It's the beginning of it. So we would get 2010 Marshawn Lynch in this situation. He was there in 2010. There's not a ton of wide receivers here. This is before the Jimmy Graham trade. So I think we could go Marshawn Lynch. We could go the 30 touchdown Sean Alexander.
That's true. That's probably the safer play because I don't know if that – because it's like you said, it's 2010 Marshawn Lynch. I don't know if that was like really coming out Marshawn Lynch yet. I'm pretty sure like 2012 was like the big Marshawn Lynch era.
Yeah. 2010 might have been the Seattle Saints playoff game. But
this was kind of the coming out party. I don't know if he was like super big. I don't know if he was super big that regular season, but then like that was where he came up, and it was like this is going to be a guy for the future.
So Sean Alexander, our user one and only reroll.
I'm good with Sean Alexander because we know that was a solid year.
All right, we're gonna throw him in the flex spot. Hey, he got a Madden cover, so at least did something.
Fair.
All right, 2021 to 2025. Dallas Cowboys. We still need a quarterback. We still need a tight end. And we still have one more flex here.
All right, so
Go ahead.
There's a big CD Lamb year from
Mm-hmm.
23, I know. And then there was George Pickens last year was solid. We could take Dak Prescott if you're confident in that 2023 like super offense. Dak Prescott being enough to
I think
push
we can get
us
a better
this far.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm cool with taking CeeDee Lamb.
I'm good with CD Lamb. Seems like a solid hex flex.
I mean, we could also go last year George Pickens, but I think the CeeDee Lamb year was a little bit better.
I think it was too.
All right, here we go. Tight end and quarterback left. So Pittsburgh, I'm not taking Bradshaw. And they don't.
And they're I don't know no idea about their tight ends.
Okay, reroll.
Yeah.
I don't care that he won 4 Super Bowls. Oh, brother.
Miami 11-15.
Well,
Man, I remember these tight end names.
you want Fasano or Clay? I'm not taking Tannehill or Matt Moore.
I am not taking. I would have rather taken Bradshaw. So.
I would have taken Lamar Miller if we still had a flex. Maybe we should have took Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it's true. Lamar Miller 2015 was pretty big. I guess I think Fasano. I think.
Okay. Sure. I don't care. I don't care about tight ends in fantasy. I don't care about that today. I don't care about it in this game. All right, Rams. All right. We're going to get Mark Bulger, I guess.
Lovely. I guess so.
That's terrible.
That's so bad. It should have been Dak Prescott.
Yeah, we could have went there and took one of these guys as a tight end.
I remember Daniel Fells.
So, all right. Our team sucks.
Yep.
We ruined it. We should.
Let's hope that prime Antonio Brown can raise the quarterback play a little bit.
Oh, great.
2006 to 2010, Browns were on defense.
Yes, and we do get another reroll for defense.
Okay, that's good to know.
No one is sticking out to me right now. Trying to see if there's, someone that might pop into my
go back up. The only name that I saw that jumped to me was, I don't think that's good, Willie McGinnis. Cameron Wimbley.
I mean, I'm almost there's part of me that's just take the big guy and Corey Williams or Sean Rogers. If you wanted me to, you could talk me into taking a TJ Ward down here at safety. Joe Hayden, cornerback, might not be too bad. He was pretty good for a little bit.
Was that in his prime? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, this would be young Joe Hayden, so.
I'm okay with Joe Hayden then.
All right, we'll take Joe Hayden. Oh my gosh, that does not say Alden. Oh, we can get Khalil Mack.
Get Khalil Mack. Okay, so this is Las Vegas 2011 to 2015 for those just listening.
Yeah, sorry. I got so distracted by Alden Smith being up there.
I got so distracted by the fact that it's trying to give us the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's 2014.
Charles Woodson.
And he plays the safety spot. Yeah. This is 2014. But so this is second stint Charles Woodson.
And he was still good at the end stretch of his career.
But is he better than Khalil Mack before getting traded to Chicago?
I feel like that was a lot of sacks.
I think because I feel like edge is more important. And we can also put him at linebacker if we wanted to. We can take Khalil Mack if you're cool with that.
I'm good with that.
You want him linebacker or edge?
I feel like it's going to be easier to find good edge.
Yeah, I agree.
Put him at linebacker. Philly 2011 to 2015.
We need a D tackle. Fletcher Cox sticks out. That might 100%. Be too early for you.
It probably is a little early, but no, maybe not too much.
All right, then let's just do it.
Okay.
There's probably someone down there, hopefully Brian Dawkins wasn't still around, and then.
No, I mean, and that would have been past his prime years by far. So.
Green Bay
99 to 2005.
All right, so we need an edge, a corner, or an edge, a safety, and a flex. So, all right. Let me just look through these names here. We are not going to take Amon Carroll because the people would. Al Harris is potential. Leroy Butler, the founder of the Lambeau Leap, is
You
probably.
got
I mean,
Darren Sharper down there too.
we are not going to take him just because he's a bad person.
That didn't stop you on Antonio Brown, the person.
Antonio Brown's a bad. I mean, he's a bad person too. But Darren Sharper is like in jail currently. So
Fair. Okay.
not that anyone. So yeah, I'm leaning. Probably going. There's no edges I want to take here. I mean, there's guys that I liked, but I'm leaning going. Al Harris. I'm actually leaning Leroy Butler for this one. Let's just get
cool
the guy
with
with the leap. So probably a little bit past his prime, but we got him.
Chicago Bears 99 to 2005.
Oh, brother.
We still need an edge and a flex. Is that prime Urlacher?
It's probably a little early for true prime, but Brian Urlacher was great for the same thing.
We could go Lance Briggs and put him at edge.
I was going to say that. We could go Lance Briggs and put him at edge, or we just take Brian Urlacher as our defensive flex.
I mean, the safe move is to take Briggs.
All right, we'll take Briggs. Oh, dude, we can't pass on Urlacher. What are we talking?
Okay, Urlacher. Good.
Yeah.
Fine. We need an edge. We do have a reroll, don't we?
Oh, we do have a reroll.
But we
Okay,
got 2025 Aiden Hutchinson.
Do we want that, or do we want to reroll?
I mean, 25 Hutchinson had what was it in the teens and sacks?
I mean, he's a good player. I mean, I would take him. I mean, he's the best option we have here. It's just, do we want to risk the reroll?
Well, let's just be honest here. First off, we're not going to win 20 games with Mark Bulger, so why not just risk it?
All right, valid, perfect.
Cleveland 2016 to 2020. That's Myles Garrett.
We got 15-5.
I'll take Bulger.
I blame him as well. Our defense is a 94. Our offense is an 87.
Okay.
So we tried.
So that was a 12-sack Myles Garrett. We had 9.5 sacks from Fletcher Cox. That was good. It was a good call with Khalil Mack getting 15.
Yeah. 134.5
tackles out of Urlacher.
Yeah. The Leroy Butler one probably hurt us just a little bit because he was a little bit past his prime, but he still had 2 interceptions that year. Joe Hayden had 6 picks that year. So we had 1,700 yards, CeeDee Lamb. Oh, no.
1,700 yards at 8.
So the Sean Alexander one seemed to hurt us as well. He must have been too early. 2006 must have been. He must have been done that in. I'd have to think back to when his. That must have been like a 2000 to 2005.
4 or 5. Might have been 5. Yeah.
I was thinking maybe even 3. And then
Maybe.
of course
but
our
we got 2,000 yard Saquon Barkley. So.
And 451 yard tight end Anthony Fasano. All right.
That honestly could have been worse. Yeah.
I think we can add that to a regular when we do another game night. I like
it. Yeah, definitely.
But anything else you want to do before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good. Unless you want to do your other surprise.
Other surprise? Oh, heck, we're already an hour and 13 minutes. Why not? One more game. New games. Semi-game night. 1 second, please.
Cody was teasing this one to me before the show, and I had no idea it existed until an hour and 15 minutes ago, probably.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So another game that has been popular on the social media is called Pigskin 5. It is a daily, no, they're not sponsored, daily NFL trivia game. You get 5 questions, 15 seconds. Prove that you know ball. So, George.
I'm ready to lose.
I don't know
so
how.
bad.
We're probably going to lose. That's fine. However, I'm not going to have time to read the question and then answer it, I don't think, in 15 seconds. So that might be tough. So we'll see if this is good radio. That's why we're doing it an hour and 20 minutes in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
True or false? Tom Brady has won 8 Super Bowls.
False.
False. Over under Shannon Sharp has 63.5 career receiving touchdowns. I should know this.
I'm going to go over.
Okay, we'll take the over. Wrong. I didn't think so because he had a short career because of a neck injury. Guess the QB, 1,328 passing yards, 78 passing touchdowns, 48 interceptions, 86.9. We got 5 seconds yet left. I'm going to go Jason Campbell.
Sure.
It was Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, wow.
Who holds the record for most career receiving yards? Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Okay. What year did the Rams relocate to the Los Angeles? Slow down, Cody. What year did the Rams relocate to Los Angeles? It
Not
was
21.
before.
It was not 14, I don't think. 16?
It's 16 or 18. Did it happen when we were in college?
16.
Yes, it did. Sorry, we had 1 second left. I just clicked one. So we didn't do great. But maybe next time we will.
Hey, that's tough under the wire there.
Yeah, man. Do you see us do immaculate grid? Like we're just
We're 20 minutes in and we're still trying to figure out who the heck went to the Raiders and the Cardinals at the same time.
But I think that's all we got for today. We got to get out of here. If you made it this long, one, did you hit the like button? Did you hit subscribe? Because if you made it this long, you need to. We appreciate you. NFL news once OTAs wrap up, but we are still going to be here every Thursday live, 6:30, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, talking NFL, playing some games, trying to find some fun content for you guys. If you have ideas or you want something to talk about or for us to debate, drop them in the comments below. We'll be back next week. I'm Cody Roadcap, and that is George Kurth. We'll talk to you all then.